pageantry, the old world feel, the mysticism and ritual, and finally, the joy and triumph of Easter. This week on Travel Time, we look back at Semana Santa to find the roots of Pinoy spirituality are alive and well. Now, this may surprise you. Alive and well in Makati, of all places. Yes, right here in the heart of the hedonistic, financial, and commercial capital of the Philippines, there is a bastion of tradition. Here, in the heart of Makati, in the old historic Poblacion, Semana Santa is as colorful and full of pageantry as it is in Vigan or Laguna or Quezon. It is tradition that mixes folk belief with state-of-the-art presentation. We look back and we look forward. Yes, the Semana Santa rituals are alive and well and continually being reinvented right here in Makati. I'm Susan Calo Medina. Join me in this Holy Week pageantry in Makati. The center of Makati's Lenten rituals is the St. Peter and Paul Church.
Dalawa ho lang yung unang-unang church na tinayo dito, yung Guadalupe Ruins, tsaka ho ito. So dito ho nanggaling, this is the Mother Church. Ito yung pinagdalhan ng unang Birhen de la Rosa and San Pedro. Ang tawag nga ho dito sa poblasyon ng araw, San Piro. Kasi hindi naman nila masabi yung Castilla na St. Pedro. Yeah, so naging San Piro.
The church is the starting point of many of the rites, just as it is the epicenter of so many other activities taking place in the streets around it.
Natatandaan ko kahit yung mga taga-baryo, nung araw, kuli-kuli tawag doon. Ngayon, San Ildefonso. Pati yung mga yun, dito sila nagpupunta.
To understand the Lenten rituals of Makati is to understand the system of samahan. The samahan is the association of people who come together with a particular devotion.
According to my grandfather, this is only the place na nag-start ng Kalbaryo. It started 1916. The first Kalbaryos ever put up was Ilaya. Then the next year, merong sporting. Hanggang naging 5 Kalbaryos. Since then, hanggang ngayon ho, 38 na.
Each one of them has a particular area or shrine located within the district, some of which have even been bought by the samahan so that a permanent shrine can be set up.
My grandfather, sila po yung unang-unang nakapagtatag dito. Dahil sa kanilang kagustuhan na basahin yung pasyon, ang ginawa nila, kumuha sila ng kopya noon, tapos binasa nila sa bahay. Siyempre, ang pagbasa noon, patula. It came out na mas maganda kung binigyan ng himig. So yung tula nila, parang naging kanta, himig na. Sa ngayon, yun yung kinakanta ngayon.
Yung mga matatanda dito, nagbabasa ng pasyon sila sa mga bahay-bahay. Hanggang naisipan siguro nila na ilabas sa bahay nila yung pagbabasa ng pasyon na gumagawa sila ng mga improvised altar sa labas.
Dahil maraming mga kamag-anak na gustong makisali doon sa pagbasa, gustong makiisa sa pagpanalangin sa Panginoon, inilabas nila sa backyard. Lalong dumami noong magkaroon ng space. So may kanya-kanya silang padala ng pagkain, pinapakain sa mga kumakanta. Ang tawag doon pakaridad, a sort of sacrifice. Kung meron silang hinihiling sa Panginoon, nagdadala sila ng mga bagay na gagamitin doon sa kubol-kubol. Makeshift lang yung kubol, mga dahon lang ho daw, palapa ng niyog. Ang importante ho doon sa kanilang makeshift kubol, there is an altar. May cross, tapos kung meron silang mga sarili-sariling santo, yun ho ang dinadasalan nila.
These areas are the Kalbaryos, where the Lenten tableaux are set up. Some samahan claim a pedigree of age. Others are set up by younger folk, but all 38 samahans are united in their devotion to a particular santo or scene from the Passion.
Minana pa po namin sa mga ninuno namin. As in yung mga unang kalbaryo dito since 1912 pa. Dito nakikita ko na parang may bayanihan pa rin kami hanggang ngayon eh. Na ginagawa namin tulong-tulong ng mga kalbaryo. Pag may problema, tulong-tulong namin sinasolve. So parang buhay pa rin sa amin ng bayanihan.
The names of the samahan range from the folksy to the downright practical. But all are devoted. That is what is important.
The Happy 12. Ang tatay ko ang founder niyan. April 4, 1925.
Ang samahan po namin ay mula Bitlab. Ito po ay tinatag ng naming mga magulang. Ngayon, mga anak na ho ang pumalit sa kanila. Dito po ay nagtutulong-tulong po ang mga kalbarista sa gastos po ng pagpagawa ng kalbaryo. Nagbibigay ho ng contribution na bukal ho sa kalooban. Tsaka tulong-tulong ho kami sa mga pakain, pati na yung mga aming kapitbahay ay natutukaan ng mga pamerienda para sa mga nagbabasa at sa mga miyembro.
Yung lote binili na. Imbes na magpabago-bago kami every dadating yung mahal na araw, minabuti ho ng grupo na magpagawa na ng permanente.
Nung araw, yung community, may toka-toka sila. Pero ngayon, yun ang samahan mismo ang nagpapatakbo. Yung iba, meron silang buwan-buwan na butaw. Yung mga medyo may kaya, sila na ang nagpipinance talaga noon.
38 communities yun. Talagang nag-uukop-ukop para maituloy lang ho itong tradisyon na nakagits na namin.
Napakahalaga ho ito sa buhay ko dahil malaki po ang blessing ang binigay sa akin, pamilya.
Na ipapakita sa mga Katoliko na ang damdamin at paniniwala sa Diyos ay malaki.
Kung hindi dito sa samahan na ito, Happy 12, at saka yung aking affinity sa simbahan, marahil hindi ganito ang buhay ko.
Christ's triumphant entry into Jerusalem is celebrated by all of Christendom on Palm Sunday. Here in the Poblacion, Christ's entry into Jerusalem is celebrated with a 7 a.m. procession. The procession passes 4 kubols or shrines. Here, children dressed as angels greet Christ with a shower of petals.
Inassign po ako ni Monsignor to take over Miss Chupintan. I get around 30 to 40 children na tinuturuan po namin kumanta ng Hosanna, Filio David.
The song they sing is an archaic Latin hymn which, we are told, is unique to this Makati Poblacion.
Feeling nila parang honored at saka parang blessed to serve God during this period. Napakasaya na nila talaga.
As it passes the 4 kubols, each one representing a gate of Old Jerusalem, with this procession, Semana Santa is officially on, in Makati as in everywhere else in Christendom. The most remarkable thing about the Lenten rituals in the Poblacion, and indeed in all of the Philippines, is that it is a community effort. The procession of crucifixes that you will see begins with a turnover of a family heirloom. It marks the passing of a tradition and a responsibility. Thus, another round of the procession ng mga krus begins. This is Holy Wednesday in the Poblacion of Makati. The Kunyang family of Poblacion Makati has one magnificent heirloom that is integral to the Lenten rites here. Every year, The outgoing Hermano Mayor waits for the crucifix at the old Kunyeng house and then takes it to the church where it is turned over to the current Hermano. The procession of blessed crucifixes begins, led by the fabled Kunyeng cross.
Itong mga rituals, hindi nababago yan. Yan ay pinagyayaman nila taon-taon, pero yan pa rin yung unang-unang ginawa ng panahon pa ng mga Kastilang pare. Yan ay nagiging isang pagkakataon ng pagdidili-dili tungkol sa sarili ng mga tao kung paano silang makapaglilingkod kay Jesus ng mas malalim at mas malawak. Itong rituals na ito ay nag-iwan at nag-iiwan ng malalim na kaugnayan sa kanilang buhay espiritual.
Around the barangay and through 36 Calvario stations, the procession winds its way.
Pagdaan ng prosesyon sa isang kalbaryo, magsisimula na ng pagganda ng pasyon.
And it is the sound that marks Holy Wednesday. The Samahans show their strength and solidarity through the tableaux that are carefully set up in their calvarios. The care of the individual santos is given to certain families each year, but the ownership of the tableau belongs to the Samahan. Every year, different design schemes are tried. Some even incorporating such high-tech elements as a video wall and projectors, but the essence remains the same. The scenes tell the story of the Pasión. Old Santos, new images, even some meticulously put-together art projects make for the vivid feel of the Calvarios.
Why was it called Calvario? Parang ang naging sacrifice na nila o penitensya na maglakad from Calvario to another Calvario, malalayo yun. Tapos ang karsada naman hindi pa well cemented. They took pain walking, parang sacrifice. Parang experience nila going to the Mount of Calvary. Kaya tinawag na Calvario.
There is no prescribed form, and the spontaneity makes the tableau even more endearing. But even more charming and hopeful is the fact that in every Calvario we visited, we saw young people reading the Pasión. In ordinary times, these young people are hip-hoppers. School children weaned on teledramas and noontime shows and musical variety, the very latest. But on these days, they sing the Pasión in their own Calvarios, a sign of hope for the future. I certainly thought so.
Ito ho naging panatan naging devotion ho ito. Every Holy Thursday, I take a walk. Yun ang pinakakapalit ng bisita iglesia. No? Ngayon, 38 na. Nung pagkakatanda ko, wala pang 30. No? So it takes us about mga 2 oras humigit kumulang nakakapagdasal bawat kubol.
The Kunyeng cross, which is more popularly referred to as the Bara Alta, begins its rounds of the Calvarios on Holy Wednesday. The Bara Alta spends 4 hours with each Samahan. After which it is carried to the next Samahan and deposited there with prayers and devotions. The Cenaculo is the centerpiece of the Semana Santa ritual. Even in the earliest documents, we see how the friars used this dramatic form to preach the gospel. In the Pio del Pilar Makati Cenaculo, The old lessons and stories survive with a touch of the high-tech. The Cenaculo in Pio del Pilar, Makati, as in everywhere in the Philippines, is a folksy affair with a riot of colors, instant improvisation, and age-old theatrical conventions melding together to create an amusing but always engaging mishmash. As in the Comedia, the entrances of actors are done in rhythmic, dance-like steps that denote long journeys and searches. Backstage is a riot of activity as actors and stagehands mingle in cramped spaces while preparing for their cues. The Cenaculo begins of the evening of Holy Wednesday and continues through to Maundy Thursday and Good Friday. Maundy Thursday is marked by the fervent activity that attends the decoration and installation of the Altar of Repose, a piece of decorative and devotional art that lasts only until midnight of Maundy Thursday.
Nagigisnan itong magagandang matandang kaugalian ito. Instead of having fiestas around, festive mood, kain dito, kain doon. Hindi po, itong mga tradisyon na ito ang nagmulat sa mga taga-poblasyon kung paano mapapalago ang kanilang pananampalataya.
Good Friday, the saddest day in all of Christendom, is also the most dramatic. All week long, the families who own santos are busy refurbishing and decorating their tableaus. The long silence of the afternoon of Christ's death is broken by the grand procession of Calvary scenes, each one a stirring visualization of the Passion and its principal characters, each one a moment of theater.
Napakaganda ho ng Good Friday procession namin. Nung araw, sabi ng lolo ko, isa lamang ho yung kanilang ipinapasyal, Santo Sepulcro, dala-dala ho ng Kastila na naiwan dito. Iilan lang yung santo na yun before the war. Ngayon ho, ang procession namin, buong-buo na ho yung buhay ni Jesus Christ. Complete story na ho yun.
The santos of the Samahans of Makati are not carried on grand silver carrozas. Instead, they are carried on the smaller, shoulder-borne andas by the barefoot devotees. The andas require more community effort as it is not wheeled or mechanized. Borne on the shoulders of men and women walking barefoot, these andas form a long procession witnessing the Passion. At the end of the procession comes a long double line of black-clad mourners. Pasos, they call themselves, who bear the instruments and the symbols of the Passion.
Nagkasakit ako when I was 7 years old ng H fever. So pinangako niya na if ever na gumaling ako, isasama na niya ako sa paso.
Ang panganay kong anak, nagkaroon ho ng rheumatoid arthritis. Lagi ho siya may sakit. Sabi ho ng mga matatanda, ng mga nanay ko, sumama raw ako sa paso. Tulong din ho talaga una ng Diyos na gumaling po yung anak ko.
Nung araw, ang kailangan lamang dyan, yung mga piling-piling pasos from the poblasyon. Isang pila lang sila. Lahat sila may dalang symbols ng pagka-Passion of Jesus Christ.
Yung mga nasa middle, may dala-dalang mga symbolic pieces like this one, yung chalice, which symbolizes the Passion of the Christ.
Barefooted ho yan. Ay, sa ngayon, marami na hong sumasali from Quiapo, from Pasig. Pero nung araw ho talagang poblasyon lang.
Oh, maybe 300 or more. Mas mahaba kasi yung mga pasos kaysa dun sa mga nag-iilaw.
Bawat kalbaryo din nabubuo yan ng iba't ibang status ng buhay ng tao. Ang mga Ginoo, bukod tangi ho yung noblemen na yan. Even the ilustrados o yung mayayamang tao ay nagbibigay po din sa namatay na Panginoon. Paano ho malalaman? Iba ang damit nila. Pinag-uusapan ho ang damit nila kung Amerikana o barong.
Biyernes Santo, sumasama ho ako sa prosesyon. Sinasatabi na ho yung pagka-mayor. No? Ito ho naging panatan, naging debosyon ho ito. At sana makita ho ng ating mga kababayan kung ano ho itong prosesyon nito. Sapagkat makikita nila yung mga kababayan at kalalakihan, mga nakapa, nakaitim. At ang marami dyan inabot na ng pagkatanda sumasama ito yung Biyernes Santo.
The procession of mourners echo an older, more archaic tradition of the Latin procession. Moving in silence under the full moon of Semana Santa, the pasos are reminders of just how old the traditions of Holy Week in Makati are. The culmination of the Semana Santa ritual in the poblacion of Makati is the stirring salubong, which takes place at 2 in the morning. The glory of the resurrection begins with the Easter Vigil, and in the rituals that bless yet another Easter candle, the flames are passed on, and the light crowns the darkened church of Peter and Paul, until at last there is the light of new life permeating everywhere.
Kasi nung araw ho, hindi nagsisimba ang tao. Doon lang, nagkakainan doon, iniintay yung pagtatapos. Ngayon ho, hindi na. Pagka ho nagsimba na rito, lahat ng tao pupunta rito. May mga naiiwan sa kalbaryo. Yun ho, tuloy pa rin yun ang pagbasa. Aantayin ho noon ang pagdaan ng mga sasama sa salubong. Basta ho dumaan na yun, yun naman ho ang sign na magtatapos na yung pagbasa sa kalbaryo.
The new life is most vividly dramatized through the salubong. The traditional procession has the menfolk accompanying the risen Christ and the womenfolk accompanying the black-veiled Dolorosa. The two santos meet. The Regina Coeli is sung by a chorus of dancing angels. The veil is lifted and the crowd bursts into applause. Another Semana Santa is finished. It is time to prepare again for next year's.
Ang tao ho, namulat doon sa pagbibigay ng halaga doon. Christmas, iba na ho ngayon ang aming pananaw. Dahil buhay na si Cristo, doon kailangan maging masaya. So maganda ho ang Easter Sunday celebration ngayon.
Ang impression sa Makati, pag sinabi mong Makati, ang impression sa labas, financial district.
Okay.
Di ba? Pero kung titignan nyo ang mapa ng Makati, baka wala pang 1/3 yung talagang mayaman ng Makati. So yung remaining areas, hindi nawawala yung old tradition.
Pang fourth generation na ako na talaga akong nakakita ko. Pati ho mga anak-anak na namin, they look forward to Holy Week.
Magtataka kayo ilan lamang yung kalbaryo ng araw ngayon mga 37 na. Every year nadadagdagan. Ibig sabihin talaga yung religious fervor nila nandoon.
Kahit ho naging modern, lahat ho nang umaalis ho dito, napupunta na ibang bansa. Pagka ho ganitong Holy Week, hindi maaaring hindi sila uuwi para ma-witness nila uli itong pag-celebrate ng Holy Week dito na kinagisnan na nila.
I have a confession to make. I live in Makati. And I think I know a lot about Semana Santa rituals. But I never thought I'd find so stirring a celebration right here in my own backyard. Imagine what other places, perhaps your own, have to offer. What traditions, what rituals, what colors lie hidden from those of us who continually look to far destinations. I was pleasantly surprised. I know you were too. Who knows, perhaps next Semana Santa, you may want to look closer to home. I'm Susan Calo Medina. Huwag maging dayuhan sa sariling bayan.